Hi everyone, it's Alisha from Wayne Public Library, and I'm here today to do a new Signs and Stories with you. So our book today is going to be After the Fall by Dan Santat. Now, what do we think this story is going to be about? Do you know who this is? It's Humpty Dumpty. Now, a lot of you, I would think, have already heard the story of Humpty Dumpty, but just in case you don't know it or you just need a little refresher, let's go ahead and do the rhyme. Okay, so Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a big fall, and all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. So, this is Humpty Dumpty, and our book is After the Fall. So it's after Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall. All right, let's watch together.
After the Fall, How Humpty Dumpty Got Back Up Again by Dan Santat. My name is Humpty Dumpty. This was my favorite spot, high up on the wall. I know, it's an odd place for an egg to be, but I loved being close to the birds. Then one day, I fell. I'm sort of famous for that part. Folks called it the Great Fall, which sounds a little grand. It was just an accident, but it changed my life. Fortunately, all the king's men managed to put me back together. Well, most of me. There were some parts that couldn't be healed with bandages and glue. After that day, I became afraid of heights. I was so scared that it kept me from enjoying some of my favorite things. I walked past the wall every day, and I would think about climbing that ladder again. I really missed the birds and being high above the city, but I could never do it because I knew that accidents can happen. I eventually settled for watching the birds from the ground. It wasn't the same, but it was better than nothing. Then one day, an idea flew by. Making planes was harder than I thought. It was easy to get cuts and scratches. But day after day, I kept trying and trying until I got it just right. My plane was perfect, and it flew like nothing could stop it. I hadn't felt that happy in a long time. It wasn't the same as being up in the sky with the birds, but it was close enough. Unfortunately, accidents happen. They always do. I almost walked away again, but then I thought about all the time I spent working on my plane and all the other things I'd missed. I decided I was going to climb that wall. But the higher I got, the more nervous I felt. I didn't want to admit it. I was terrified. I didn't look up. I didn't look down. I just kept climbing, one step at a time, until I was no longer afraid. Maybe now you won't think of me as that egg who was famous for falling. Hopefully, you'll remember me as the egg who got back up. and learned how to fly.
Okay, I hope you liked that story. Next, we are going to do a fun experiment with eggs. All right, let's get started.
For this experiment, we will be using white vinegar, an egg, and a cup or glass. The egg can be raw or cooked. Just make sure you leave the shell on. Place the egg in the cup and fill it with vinegar. You'll notice right away that bubbles start forming on the egg.
Okay, now that we have the experiment ready to get started, I want us to guess what we think is going to happen. So it's an egg. What things do you think could happen to an egg? Well, it could crack, or maybe it could change color, or maybe it can go from hard to soft. What do you think is going to happen? All right, excellent. Okay, so this experiment actually takes a whole week to do. Can you believe that? It takes a whole week. Now, if you want, you can just fast forward a little bit and just watch how I finish the experiment, or you can try it for yourself. To watch how it ends up on my side, go ahead and watch it now.
Overnight, the vinegar got very foamy. I replaced the old vinegar with new. I felt the egg and it felt much softer than usual, and in fact, a little bit of the yolk was starting to show. That evening, I noticed that there was a little bit of a color change. It looked a little bit more yellow-orange. This is how it looked after 1 week. This is a comparison between a regular egg and one that had been soaking in vinegar for 1 week. What do you think is different? The vinegar egg is squishy and translucent. That means you can see through it a little bit. If we drop the egg on the plate, it bounces. Do you know what happens to a regular egg if you dropped it like this? Yup, splat.
Wow, I hope you thought that experiment was really cool. I hope that you do try it for yourself, even though it does take a long time. All right, until next time, bye-bye.